BMW's stock price is down to where it was in the early 2000s. The same situation with Volkswagen and with Mercedes. What exactly is happening? If you're seeing the news or if you haven't been following it, Volkswagen recently announced that they're going to shut down three plants in Europe, leading to a loss of job for nearly 10,000 people. If you think about the overall auto industry in Europe, they used to be the leader all the way up till today. So, what exactly has happened? Why have they fallen so far behind? And what's causing this collapse in the industry? And so, we're going to go into that today. A little bit about myself. I'm Jazz. I was an investment banker and now I'm a renewable energy specialist. And I'm quite interested in the renewable energy sector, but also how it impacts other sectors. And autos is a key sector here. Now, if you think about the overall industry and how it's evolving, right, there's an electrification journey which is happening across industries, and autos are not so different. And this is where the story gets very interesting because these inherent leaders, the Mercedes, Volkswagen, and BMWs of the world, they just are left so far behind. And it's incredibly sad because it's going to have such a massive impact on the lives of millions of people. If you think about the size of the auto industry, it's nearly 25% or a very significant part of the economies of Europe. Germany by itself contributes about one fourth of the GDP of Europe, and their economy is largely reliant on the auto industry. So there's a lot of pain which is going to come. And what's interesting is, which is what most people would not have registered, that when you think about an electric vehicle, what you really think about is a company like Tesla. You might think Tesla is the leading electric vehicle manufacturer in the world, but really the story could not be further from the truth. The leader in this sector is none other than China. And, China's strategic thinking in this area has just been so far ahead of the curve in comparison to all of the European companies that it's really been I mean, it's been a master stroke from their perspective, but it's just been deeply disappointing and concerning how our industrial policy here in Europe gets made. And so, if you think about the components of an electric vehicle, it's completely unlike an internal combustion engine because most of it is around minerals. You need batteries, first of all. Battery is the biggest component of an electric vehicle. And batteries by itself are created and manufactured predominantly in China. So China has control of the battery manufacturing. They also have control of the rare earth minerals that go into batteries. So they manufacture rare earth minerals, they refine rare earth minerals, they manufacture the batteries, and hence why they control this entire electric vehicle industry. So what is Europe doing? The European manufacturers are essentially, they've just put their hands up and said, we can't produce any batteries here. And so we need to import batteries. Naturally speaking, if you import batteries from another country, you're not going to be competitive. And so they're just in this position where the average cost of this equipment or of an electric vehicle is almost 30 to 40% higher versus an internal combustion engine. And what this is causing is, the average cost of an EV in Europe or US may be almost, 50, 60,000 euros. And BYD in China is producing one for as cheap as, 10,000, 20,000. So how are you going to compete? You can't. And so I think it just goes to show that unless our governments have strategic foresight to think several years and decades ahead, the competition will be lost one after the other in several industries. Because on the other hand, there is a government that is a lot more strategic in their thinking. They think in decades. And so it's been quite upsetting to see that we've been caught completely off guard. Now, in terms of what can be done, even though it's a very difficult predicament, the only way out is to collaborate for our auto industry. The only way out is to make as many joint ventures as possible to collectively look at combining our intellectual property, to look at manufacturing and getting the cost savings by combining forces, and then also to try to procure rare earth minerals and batteries as a collective unit from countries, not just China, but other countries as well, which we manufacture, such as Canada or maybe the Europe or maybe the US. The only way out is to collaborate. And so it will not be surprising to see if more and more of these manufacturers they do M&As to combine and to get a lot of costs out of the system, which unfortunately means further job losses. And so it's a very difficult predicament, but really it's about the survival of this industry. And so every step needs to be taken to prolong its history. It remains to be seen what happens next, but if you like the content, like and subscribe, and we're going to do more of these deep dives on a daily basis. See you soon.